Hello and welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. Last year, we got to enjoy Christmas from an even more appropriate source than Rob Liefeld, Starscream of the Decepticons. It's a goofy little story where someone teaches Starscream the true meaning of Christmas, mainly trolling Autobots by helping humans and making them look like the aggressors before wishing a puny fleshling a Merry Christmas. But that was not the only Marvel UK issue of Transformers to have a story featuring the holiday. In fact, there are a few. And since in March of next year I'm doing a retrospective on the American Marvel Transformers books, we should probably have a preview of things to come in it, which works especially well for today's review, because it focuses on a character introduced in those books, Circuit Breaker. For whatever reason, I guess those working on the book at the time felt they should have some superhero or supervillains in the Transformers books, they created a few original characters owned by the company, and that includes our gal Circuit Breaker. Long story short, since I'll be getting into it during the retrospective itself, she was a brilliant engineer and electronics expert who became disabled due to a Decepticon attack on an oil platform. She built a cybernetic suit, attachments for herself, that enabled her to walk, shoot electric bolts, fly, and disrupt circuitry. She became a recurring villain in the books, obsessed with destroying the Transformers regardless of their allegiance. So let's dig into Transformers UK number 41 and see how she factors into a merry little Christmas story.
Welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where Yuletide candles burn. Linkara's gonna give you all a present you've not earned. Not Mensch, you're not the brightest. Frank Miller, you're off the nice list. If you're a comic writer who misuses a license, your gift will be returned. Digging through the shelves for the kind of comic books that would turn Santa's elves into common crooks. He reads them and he weeps, while down the chimney creeps Bill Jammers with a Marvel trade to watch him when he sleeps. Linkara, he built a snowman, now it has a hole. Linkara, 8 maids of milk and a young blood troll. Linkara, only one Dickens homage away from going chestnuts. Linkara, this Christmas comic sucks.
My scans are from a trade, but we're reading from the original issue. The cover is kind of meh. It's just a close-up of Optimus Prime saying, "Merry Christmas, everyone," while taking off a fake beard. The fake beard itself does kind of make me tilt my head. I mean, was Optimus doing a mall Santa gig? And if he was, did the kids recognize him regardless? Because I know I'd be pretty damn excited to learn that Optimus was Santa. Or was he just Santa to the other Autobots? Autobots, transform and roll out these presents! Now Blaster, now Lancer, now Flanker and Siren, on Grimlock, on Grand Slam, on Hot Rod and Topspin. Does this make Megatron the Krampus? Anyway, we open with a newspaper article. Held hostage by alien robots! Oh my god! Building code under fire! Freed workers tell their story. Unfortunately, their story was just the plot of the song Timothy. Robot war on Earth? Boston Dynamics versus the Roomba! Sunday, Sunday, Sunday! Damn robots! Must you always drag innocents into your petty war? Not that innocent. They were Ubisoft executives. As you probably figured, this is Circuit Breaker, who rants to herself about how the Transformers have harmed so much innocent life. I can imagine what it was like, invading BlackRock's aerospace plant, terrorizing the workers. And indeed, we see a version of Soundwave attacking, and, he's got drills for fingers and a mouth with a scary jaw and everything. Where the hell are those accessories for my masterpiece Soundwave? You stripped them of their humanity, forced them to flee like mice! Human beings never run away from things! You've made them inhuman! To express her frustration, she sets some garbage on fire, also revealing that trench coat is the only real clothes she has on over the cyborg swimsuit. Like, it's snowing. At least get some boots on or something. She recounts her backstory and how she created all the microcircuitry that allowed her to move and walk again. I fashioned the circuitry into the circuit breaker costume. I made sure it didn't fully cover my ass because a butt this good deserves to be seen. GB Blackrock, another character from the Marvel books we'll talk about in the retrospective, tried to stop her from taking revenge on the Transformers, but she's sworn to kill them all. We cut over to the Ark, where the Autobots are putting together a Christmas tree. Well, loosely I call it one. Looks more like the skeleton of a Christmas tree, but with decorations on it. But hey, whatever works for you. Also, yeah, as you may have noticed, Optimus is indeed wearing the Santa outfit from the cover, minus the beard. And it's really the ultimate dilemma. Sure, Santimus Prime could give the Decepticons coal for being naughty, but they'll just convert it to Energon cubes. With them is Buster Witwicky, who's apparently in charge of setting up the Christmas decorations with Huffer and Brawn. However, nearby, Prowl and Bluestreak are just shocked that they're actually doing all this. I can't believe Prime is willingly taking part in this charade. That outfit! I mean, where did he even get it? Dude's like 20 feet tall! But the Decepticons are leaderless. We should strike at our enemies, not play with that piece of scrap metal. I believe Buster called it a Christmas tree. Yeah, and it's made of dead Autobot parts, which really makes this messed up! What in Cybertron's name is that? We're at war, Bluestreak! He's got a point. This ain't your holiday, and it's not like the Decepticons are taking Christmas off. At least not for a few years until Starscream is filled with Christmas spirit. Bluestreak says they have to indulge Buster since they're indebted to him for recent events. Yes, I suppose so, only Prime's been very strange lately. I fear something troubles our leader. Buster, I'm sorry, but I'm Jewish and I have no stakes in this. It's really starting to depress me. So the reason why it's especially important for me to point out when I'm reading from a trade or reading from scans or the like isn't really about the cover, but rather because sometimes trades will make alterations to the story. Sometimes it's major, like how Final Crisis's trade added in a bunch of pages, or it's something minor but bizarre like here. Jazz out of nowhere starts talking about charity. When I write these reviews, I'm usually reading from the scans I have because it's easy to switch between two monitors where one is the comic and the other is the script. So when I saw that, I was confused and decided to look back at the original comic I had. And indeed, for some reason, the trade cut out 2 dialogue balloons. It's not like it's something offensive, it's just Buster saying that the Christmas tree is a symbol of charity. I don't know, maybe they cut that line because, from what I can tell, that's not necessarily the case. Some legends of the Christmas tree go back to the 8th century, others say it started in the 16th, still others say it's a co-opted pagan thing. Just, you know, not really a charity thing from what I can tell. Though kudos to Buster, I'm totally in agreement for getting an artificial tree. Jazz kind of balks at the idea of humanity being charitable, especially in light of, coincidence of all coincidences, Circuit Breaker, who has incredible power that could help a lot of people, but she's only interested in destruction, recalling their last encounter with her. Before Buster can really respond to that, though, he realizes that he's late to join his father delivering Christmas presents to people in a small town outside of Portland. It's called St. Petersburg. Ah yes, the Russian suburb of Oregon. In the town, Circuit Breaker is watching a bunch of kids having a snowball fight when one of them suddenly drops down into a frozen lake. She quickly leaps into action and manages to get her out, even giving a brief electrical shock to get her heart beating. Unfortunately, the random adult who is with these kids sees this amazing sight and throws a stick at her. Leave her alone, you weirdo! What kind of monster are you? How dare you rescue that little girl? You're the next Hitler! That is a goofy enough reaction as it is, but then a kid echoes the sentiment. Freak! Bet she melted the ice in the first place! What little kid would see this and believe that the cyborg lady shooting lightning bolts isn't the coolest thing ever? God, humans in the Transformers world are cynical assholes! No wonder Jazz thinks they aren't charitable. It's a cyborg! She just rescued your friend! And she shoots lightning!
What happened here was a miracle, and I want you to fucking acknowledge it.
Angered by being called a freaking monster, she hallucinates a transformer and shoots it, blowing up some trees before flying off. She spots Jazz driving around, but because Jazz isn't used to driving in winter conditions, he suddenly slips and careens into random stuff on the street, accidentally sending Buster flying out as he transforms. By the Primal Program! The Primal Program should have included a subroutine for turning into the skid. While Jazz checks to see if Buster's okay, Circuit Breaker spots them and thinks that Jazz is trying to attack an innocent human, so starts blasting him. Circuit Breaker! Now look, lady, I don't want to hurt you! And she blasts and melts his gun.
Colt 45, semi-automatic. Play-Doh.
Buster starts to recover as Circuit Breaker announces that he's the last human that Jazz will ever harm. Circuit Breaker, no! We need to exchange insurance information after that accident first! Buster tries to explain that not all of the Transformers are destructive and that Jazz wasn't attacking him, but Circuit Breaker doesn't care. They still brought their war to Earth regardless. However, church bells start ringing and Buster checks his watch, announcing to Circuit Breaker that it's now Christmas Day. Wait, you've been working on the tree decoration all night on Christmas Eve? And you promised to help deliver gifts to people and were only on your way like 5 minutes to midnight? Merry Christmas, ma'am. Very well. This is your friend's second reprieve. There won't be a third. Merry Christmas. Ha! We'll see about that when Arbor Day rolls around. And so our comic ends with this exchange. Buster, you saved me. Not me, Jazz. Christmas. Christmas must be really special here on Earth if it can do this. Yes, it is special, Jazz. Very, very special. And yet I pissed it away by not doing anything with my family. This story is okay, but really not as fun as the Starscream one. It feels really, really short, with at least 2 pages of this 11-page story devoted just to recapping Circuit Breaker's whole deal or her ranting about how much she hates the Transformers. We have Optimus in the Santa outfit for no real reason, but he doesn't actually say anything. It'd be like if Peter Cullen was just too embarrassed by what was going on to actually speak in the story. And like I said, the timeline is a bit wonky. Even forgetting how long Buster was with the Autobots, Circuit Breaker immediately went from the kids in the snow to seeing Jazz and Buster. Were those kids playing outside and at a frozen pond near midnight? Admittedly, though, I really do like the ending message of how special Christmas is, that it convinces Circuit Breaker to not try to fight. But at the same time, for all the talk about Circuit Breaker's backstory and motivation, we don't get an idea what Christmas means to her, what sort of feelings it evokes. We can imply it's important to her because of her deciding not to attack, but still it feels like it kinda comes out of nowhere that she'd care about Christmas enough to leave. Like I said, it's not terrible, but the whole thing is really just pointless filler. Next time, we conclude the holidays with what's kind of become a tradition. There may not be a Star Wars movie in theaters for a while, but we're still gonna cover one with the comic adaptation of Solo. Damn robots! Must you always drag innocents into your petty war? Damn you Transformers! I swear I will destroy every last one! Ooh, there are Radio Shack coupons. Hello my friends, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for notifications on new video releases. If you'd like to support future videos, you can check out my Patreon or purchase a t-shirt via Teespring or Shark Robot. Thanks for watching!